Yes. I'm not sure what's going on. I was trying that nice new countdown feature and it wouldn't let me go live. So now I'm live and I can't find the feed on our channel. I would have to say YouTube is having some squirrely issues this morning. There we go. I think we're good now. See, she said so too. I didn't get to turn the volume down fast enough. So how are you guys this morning? Good morning, Miss Shelley. We finally got rain here in North Idaho. I'm like praising God for that. It rained really nice all through the night, and then this morning it really dumped. I could hear the moose outside enjoying it too. He was making quite a bit of noise this morning. I can never see him. I can just hear him. But thankfully, that was good I didn't see him, because last time he was present, he knocked over my propane tank. I'm pretty sure of that. Oh my goodness, what a wild and crazy roller coaster ride. Are you guys experiencing the same thing? It's like this summer is just nutty. The pace is insane. God is very present. You guys heard that from me on Monday, and I will still say the same. Wait till you hear my day yesterday. You probably wonder how I can be so trusting and believe that God is in everything when some of the stuff that happens. But that's the key thing that we've got to remember, is that he's in everything. He's working a million things in the background, and he's always doing it for our good. So when you remember that, it makes it a whole heck of a lot easier. But lots of topics today. Miss Shelley says we had lots of rain yesterday, but spots under the pine trees are still dry. Well, funny that you say that, because I went out to turn the solar panels so they would be turned the right way while I'm live here and catching sun if it comes out. It's bright, so we're getting sun power. But when I went out there, I mean, the ground underneath the solar panels there where we put the pillars has just looked like a desert. It's all cracked, and I mean, just, it's very desolate looking. And even with all the rain that we had, it still looks that way at spots. Like, it looks like it didn't get rain, which is just really crazy. I mean, it dumped buckets, but it's just that dry, so it's absorbing into the ground. So we just got to continue to pray for additional rain. And the weather across the country is just crazy. The heat and the humidity in some places. You know, we had 110 degrees last Tuesday, and we've had frost this week. My tomatoes and my peppers are not looking very favorable, which is a real bummer. And it is early here, but everything's set in early. And of course, it sets in early and then it teases you, you know? So I think that's kind of what we were looking at. But it's been, I mean, I'm wearing 4 layers today. A tank top, a long sleeve t-shirt, a t-shirt, short sleeve t-shirt on top of that, and a flannel. And yesterday it was t-shirts and sweatshirts. I mean, it's been chilly. I actually had a fire in the bathhouse yesterday and in the house the night before. It's been cold. It's been cold. So it's just crazy. It's crazy to see what's going on. Sometimes when it is as dry as you explained, the rain runs off instead of soaking in. Yep, exactly. Exactly. And just got to continue to pray for more moisture, at least in this area. I know there's other places that are actually flooding, but I got to remember to use the iPad and not touch the screen today. But I have some interesting topics to talk about. One thing I wanted to mention, I shared my bees with you guys on Monday. Keith from New Zealand shares the most insightful comments. And he's worked with bees for a long time. So I'm very grateful for his feedback. And one of the things he mentioned is one of the hives does not have an outside feeder. It has an inside feeder. And the other one that I showed you had the glass jar in front, which is a form of a feeder as well. And I would much rather prefer to use that than the other feeders, because the other feeders are plastic. And I'm avoiding plastic. And thanks to Keith's tidbits of information there too, which didn't surprise me one bit, is that anything plastic in the hive is going to also leach into your honey. So I had to kind of improvise. My handy craftsman was not available during the day to be able to make me a wooden feeder with the jar in it for the other feeder. So I grabbed something that would work for the time being to keep them fed. But Keith suggested to just take that feeder and put it in the center of my second hive up top. So I am definitely going to do that and put that out of the way. And something else he mentioned, which I thought was funny, and something that I sometimes when you live this life, you just neglect to mention things because you're so used to everything that's going on around you. So, for example, Keith mentioned about predators, and having the feeder out there would mean that the predators are going to come in too, just as the bees are going to go for that sweet stuff, so are the predators. And that's totally true. On our previous homestead, we had the bees outside of the garden because the garden wasn't there yet. And the deer would come around because we put hay around the hives in the wintertime. And the deer would come in. And I shouldn't say hay, straw bales. So the deer would come in and just... Animals are curious is one thing. You know, they're not going to go after things necessarily, but they are curious. And sometimes they just, in their curiosity, hence the propane tank, things happen. But we also did have a bear come in. And bears here, it's very unusual to have a bear come in because of dogs. The bears and the mountain lions here are hunted very heavily by hounds. So when they hear a dog, they are gone. So that was a saving grace that night, and it's always divine how things happen. We left a window open by accident that was cracked, and Copper, the Rhodesian Ridgeback, heard the bear flip the top frame off of an empty hive, thankfully, and she barked, and when she barked, he left. But what we did do then is once we put the garden in, we had the bees inside the garden, fenced-in garden area, which is our intention now as well. However, where I have the bees right now is close to the house. I also put solar lighting around there so I can keep an eye out at night. And when we put the garden in, because the garden's so much further away from the house, and there's like a little bit of a ridge there, and we've got a big stump pile there that needs to move. So I would be blind to being able to see if there's anything at the bees. So I would much rather have them here for now and then move them into the garden later, where they will be protected in the event that there is a bear that decides he wants to come in. And it would be perfect if it was during hunting season, because then I would have lard and lots of meat in my freezer as well. But needless to say, it is important, and you've heard me talk about it a lot previously, just predators on the homestead. You know, if you have chickens, you've got raccoon, weasels, ermine, even a possum. You've got hawks, owls, eagles. There's lots of different predators for all the animals, and it's really important that you are prepared for them. You know, we have 22s on hand and very accessible. And being able to set traps and to design your homestead so that you have less struggles with the predators. For example, chickens, when you're doing the coop, you bury that fencing deep down into the ground, you know, a foot or two down into the ground to alleviate something digging and getting into your coop. So those are just some examples of different things you can do. But it is important. There are going to be predators. And I mean, we have coyotes howling right outside the house here a lot. You know, those get trapped in the fall season when the mountain man is trapping and so forth. But it's really important that you're aware of what's going on. I just saw Carol jump on here. Hey, Miss Carol. Good morning. Good morning. I think YouTube's doing some crazy stuff this morning. I'm seeing weirdness. Good morning, Miss Jane. Miss Carol says, I've messaged Toika. She's read the message, but no reply. I'm worried about her. Funny you say that, because she's on my heart heavy this morning, so I messaged her this morning. I hope everything's okay. Maybe she's just got a lot going on like the rest of us. Like, that was one of the ways I started this morning, is just, I don't know about you guys, but it is crazy. It's crazy. The pace is crazy. I feel very healthy. I feel very good. I've been able to do a lot of self-care, but the pace is crazy. Like, it's unbelievable right now. There's just so much going on. I feel like I've got like 6 full-time jobs, and I hear everybody else sharing, and it sounds like everybody else has the same thing. Uh-oh. Jane says rain's moving in, which means in about an hour or two, I'm going to see what she's got. So that's good, because I had rains this morning and last night. So I'm very grateful for that. We needed rain. It's not so good on the power, but it's bright today, so I'm still doing okay. So as long as I have enough power for tonight's Bible study, I'm good. Okay, so Miss Lorenzo is saying hello, and he is on my agenda today because we need to sing happy birthday to him. His birthday is on Sunday, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So, Lorenzo, this is for you. Me, me, me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. Lorenzo. Happy birthday to you. On the Zoom we do on the 30th, you're going to have to share with us about your birthday present of riding the horse or the pony. That was pretty darn cool. Your nanny shared pictures this morning with me and a video. That's pretty cool. So we're all singing happy birthday to you and thinking of you. And your nanny needs to give you a big hug. Look, yep, Miss Jane's doing the cha-cha-cha. Thank you. I knew you guys would chime in. And Carol says he's loving it. Thank you. Yes, you're welcome. It's even in my notes. I do not want to forget to sing to Lorenzo. I get in here and everybody's talking. I get distracted. So I wanted to make sure I was singing to the boy. So awesome. Awesome. And I also want Lorenzo to share about his garden. I hope you guys, your gardens are all doing okay. We've had frost. It was 110 degrees last week and we had frost again, which is early. I mean, it's not uncommon here in Idaho, but I was hopeful. So my tomato plants and my pepper plants are not looking very good right now. But I want to, before I forget to do this also. Exactly. Jane says all his aunties. Yes, he's got many. It's so funny. Those little dimples, man, I just want to pinch him. He's so cute. And Tammy and her boys, I just love it. All the young kids. It's not just littles, but it's all ages. It's really awesome to have the connections with these kids. I'm just so excited. Yes, he says all the girls, lol. We may be creating a bad thing here. I'm not sure. Good morning, Miss Mill. Good morning, good morning. So I wanna mention this so I don't skip over this as well. This is very important. If you could please pray for the mountain man. The job he's working on is just grueling, and prayers would be greatly appreciated. If you could please pray for the mountain boy. He's down to the wire. Today he has finished 4 of his 5 classes, and out of those 4, he has done very well. I believe he got B's in all of them, so that was really exciting and has greatly empowered him. And then his math class is the last one, and that'll finish on the 17th. But I will share our housing story from yesterday and the day before with you in a little bit here. But please pray for him. He's discouraged with the housing. I can't blame him. And that's also why we're going to talk about educating our children. It's very important. It's so sad to see all these things that these kids have to experience that we didn't as kids, you know. So we'll touch on that then. But please pray for Austin. Just discouragement with the housing thing. But other than that, his summer term and his fall term is already paid for. Grants and scholarships have been coming through. He's in a really good place. He got his stimulus finally because he hadn't gotten that, and that will help with the housing situation. So he's all ready, and he's very anxious to move. And I get it. But I think God might be teaching him patience, because I'm just rolling with this and trusting. But pray for him. And also, please pray for our dear friend Cortney. Today she had a procedure, and I just wanted to put that out there to lift her in prayer, and just for healing and for God's hand in her day. And I'd also like to remind you guys to please pray for Bobbi. Bobbi is Kelly's ex-daughter-in-law, and a really good young girl that has is just being, for lack of better terms, really screwed over by our system. And there's a lot of evil in place right now, and we need to just pray the evil away and pray for God's will to be done and the truth to come clean, because of all this COVID stuff and all the BLM stuff and all the things that are going on, our government organizations are extremely jaded. They were jaded before. Now it's even worse. So please pray for her, and especially write it on your calendars. The 15th, she has a hearing, and we need to be heavily praying for a good judge and a good jury and people, and the truth to totally come surface. So please pray for her. My heart goes out to her intensely. And to Kelle, Mike, and Cortney as well, because they are walking this out with her. Also, please pray for Nathanial. It's one of Austin's housemates. He's going through some grueling finals and everything, and he is also in a situation where he may be in need of housing. So he may be traveling along with Austin, but just pray for God's will in his life as well. And for Michael Wilson, he's the dean at Moody. He had COVID earlier in the year and is just struggling intensely with just the after effects. So, and Mama T, please write it on the calendar, July 8th. We will need to be praying her up as well, because she will be getting her hip replacement. So, and also, if you guys have prayers, any of you watching the live, watching the replay, please leave your prayer requests in the comments. If it's something personal you don't want to share, please just leave unspoken prayers. We don't need to know the details. God knows them. All we need to know is that we need to be lifting you and joining you in that effort. So please leave that. Also, if you have praises are just as, if not more important than our prayer requests, because God's in every aspect of our lives, and we need to be communicating with him through the good, the bad, and the ugly. I wish the man was here. I love when he does that. But definitely share your praises too. So I see lots of activity here. So I'm going to... I keep doing that. I got to remember not to do that. Trying to remember. Well, it just zapped me out of my screen. So you're going to hear clicking. All right. All right. So Miss Carol says, oh, bless Lorenzo. He's talking to you all and doesn't understand why you're not answering. Well, I'm explaining we are not on Zoom. Yeah, Mr. Lorenzo, unfortunately, we can't see you or hear you, but we do love you. And soon Nanny will bring you on where you can tell us all about it. And you'll be able to see us and hear us. Carol says, did they catch that person, Mill? Mill, are you, or Carol, you're talking about the one that had tried to rob her? Yes, did they catch him, Mill? You gave her all the information. Wait till you hear my story. You'll find this really funny, too. I didn't even think about the correlation between the two of us, but you'll find this funny. He's miffed now, Shelley. Oh, don't get mad. We love you. You'll get to tell us your story soon. So Mill says, Carol, yes, they are supposedly working on it. Awesome. Just stay safe, Mill. Keep locked up. Yep, exactly. And Mill is saying happy birthday to little Lorenzo. And Shelley says, it is so hard when they do not understand. Give them a hug from me. Yep, there you go. Yep, give them big hugs. We love you, Lorenzo. Poor guy. Jane says, Shelley, I got my solar dryer. Very nice. Can't wait to dry my herbs for tea. I can't wait to look it up. I didn't even get a chance to look it up yet. Oh. Carol says it was a murderer on the loose where Mill is. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I think did you mention that on Monday? I do kind of remember that now. I'm telling you, this week has been a blur. Looking for housing for Austin has been a full-time job, especially with me being 2 hours away. So this is my story. This is really funny. KHM joined us. It sounds like you're trapping the mic, by the way. Maybe it's from touching the mouse. Maybe it's too close to the mic. I think what you're hearing is my finger tapping the screen. Let me try to get it back on here again. Yeah. All right. So hopefully that will help. And KHM, that's what it is. Yes. It's my finger. So my bad. And thank you. Thank you. And KHM, where are you from? And if you're willing, share your name. It's always nice to know who we have joining us. And thank you for the feedback. I appreciate that. Can you guys hear me okay otherwise? Because I've been told lately that I've been breaking up a lot. I don't know what's going on with our internet, but I am in the middle of nowhere. But give me your feedback on that too. Mill says, haven't heard anything about a murder. You know what? I think that, Carol, I think that was Melissa that shared that. I think that was, okay, perfect. Thank you, KHM. Okay, Kate is in Oregon. Welcome, Kate. We always like having new people joining us. You will not find a more loving community. These guys are, yep, there they go. Carol's already loving up on you. So awesome. Welcome. And thank you very much for the feedback. It's always helpful. But Carol, I think that was Melissa that shared that. And she is in Michigan. Yes, she's in Michigan. Laura's in Minnesota. Mill's in Colorado. So yeah, I think it was Melissa. Okay, so let me share this funny. Whoop. Okay, so I got to share this funny story with you, and actually it's really funny. A message just came across my screen from the individual. Okay, so I told you about the woman from the church who connected me with a fellow who was going to have space in August to have Austin. Well, I contacted him and had an amazing conversation with the man. He is a Christian author, which I will share more with you in a bit. His book is on its way here. I can't wait to read it and share it with you guys. But I was on the phone with the man for over an hour, and he has two nephews that are on the spectrum that are really looking for friendship and friends and love to play games, and he's right there close to Austin. So unfortunately, he thought he had an opening in August too, but his current housemate has just purchased raw land and will need another 6 months. So he won't have an opening in his home for another 6 months, which is kind of a bummer, but I see God totally at work. So I found this other place, and the price was low, but you know, I didn't know. So I'm going to try. So I checked it out. It looked like a perfect place for Austin. Neighborhood's perfect, everything. They wanted $700 a month for rent. I found it on one of the rental.coms and inquired, and I heard back from the person. His name was Jeremiah. He's communicating with me. He mentioned that he's got a for sale sign in the yard. Don't bother dealing with the realtor. He's just severed his ties. He shared all this information with me. But he got relocated to Georgia, and he doesn't have anybody there to show the house. The key, there's nobody there in Spokane with the key. So, you know, go check it out. Look in the windows. Okay, so we did that, and it was very odd. So I had Austin and his housemate go and just kind of sit there for a little bit and go check it out. The elderly neighbor lady was out, so they went and they checked it out and they talked to her. And she said that Jeremiah was a really nice guy and that he had moved out and blah, blah, blah. And she thought he was selling it. Thought it was odd that we were looking at it to rent it. And I was on FaceTime with Austin, so I got to meet her, and she was a hoot. Oh my goodness. She would have been the perfect neighbor for Austin because he would have never been lonely. Promise you. She was just funny, very cute. And it was a nice quiet neighborhood. To know we had good neighbors was good. It was all really comforting. And the fact that she knew his name and everything else, it's like, okay, this is good. So that took away the weird feeling I had that he was sending us to look at a house when there's nobody there. So, you know, things didn't add up, but things then made sense, and it kept going that way for a day and a half. And then yesterday I asked his last name, which really added the comedy to the whole situation. His name is Jeremiah Johnson. Okay. And legitimately, it really is Jeremiah Johnson. That is the owner's name, which is really funny because if you're familiar with the movie Jeremiah Johnson, he was a very big mountain man. So it just added to the humor of the whole situation with us being the ones looking at the house. So anyway, go on. I'm dealing with this person. I have his email. I have his phone number. He sent the application over. We were looking over the application. Thought it odd, didn't have the address on it. So of course, me being the cover my behind kind of person, wrote the address, his name, his phone number, and all that on the top of the application. And he's talking about payment, and he wanted a month of rent and a security deposit. Okay, fine. But I'm not giving you all of that until I get a key. I'll give you half, I get a key. Well, So anyway, when it came down to the money, and this is the other funny thing, I always open my Bible in the morning and ask God to guide me to what I need. And it opened up in my Bible, in the NIV Study Bible, to the introduction to Ecclesiastes. And the words and the sentences that popped to me that morning, yesterday morning, were seeking knowledge. Okay, so I'm like, I want to make sure that this guy is not a scam because I don't really have any way of verifying it, although Lorraine, the neighbor, says Jeremiah is a good guy. Well, that's great. The guys forgot to get a picture of the real estate sign because I wanted to call to see if I could get more information that way also, because I found it on another program. I didn't find it through a realtor. So anyway, we get to the money part and things start falling apart. Things don't feel right to me, so and he started getting a little pushy. And then he sent me the payment thing, and it came up with another name. So I asked about the person, and and prior to this, like, I jump back a second. I asked if I could call him because I wanted to hear this guy. I wanted to see if it was legit, see if I could get a better feel. And he actually let me, I called him and I talked to him, which is really funny because I was like drawing information out of this person, and gets to the payment part and I just don't feel comfortable. So I kind of bought myself some more time, and I legitimately, Austin was at school. I couldn't continue any further without Austin anyway. So I bought myself some time till this morning. So it really surprises me that he has messaged me just now. Anyway, I talked to the realtor last night and got confirmation. The house is under contract with somebody else. They found the rental ad 2 days prior, but they couldn't get the person and the ad came down. Well, guess what? Okay, so I also forgot to say, when he gave me the payment thing, it was a different name. And I said, well, who is this? And he said, it's my partner. So last night we were talking to Lorraine. I called her and was talking to her on the phone, and she said he did have a partner. And I said the guy's name, and she said, no, that wasn't his name. So I'm like, okay. And then I talked to the realtor. He said it's under contract. Well, the realtor said that they've been trying to get the person. They reported it, but they didn't have any information to go off of. Well, guess what? My investigative work got them everything they need to probably bust the person. So I'm really grateful that God led me on that. Exactly, Jane. It was a big scam, but it was weird because I kept feeling prompted to keep going further, not necessarily for the house, but I just kept feeling prompted to keep digging. So anyway, I wasted a day and a half of my time, and I say that loosely because I still got a lot of stuff done. I'm flying by the seat of my pants here right now, working on books and writing and classes and clients and everything. But in the meantime, I did get enough information that they will probably be able to get these guys. And the fact that he's still communicating with me is really funny. So anyway, and this guy knew, my guess is whoever this is, they previously, the real Jeremiah Johnson, had rented out that house at one time, and the people had screwed him over, did all kinds of damage to the house, and didn't pay, and he had to have the police come and get them out of there. It almost, if I had to guess, one of two things. It's either them, again, trying to make money off of their knowledge, because the stuff they shared was really all confirmed with the neighbor lady, because she shared that with me last night too. about that situation. So whoever I'm dealing with knows a lot about this person. Or the other thing is the scammer met Lorraine. And she gave him the skinny on everything. So I don't know, but it is so sad to see the efforts people go to. But what's really funny is I got him even to talk on the phone. I've dealt with scammers before, and once you say something about the phone or you give them any inkling that you're onto them, they're gone. Because Craigslist is a total culprit for like vehicles and stuff. It's so bad. So, you know, I'm grateful for my knowledge. I'm grateful for knowing what to look for. I'm grateful that God guides me. And I'm also grateful that I was guided in that way, that I was able to get enough information out of him to do something about it. And who knows? I mean, they're just slick. A lot of them have millions of emails and phone numbers and all this crazy stuff. But I say this all to share with you the humor in it, because until, like I said, until now, I didn't think about Mill walking behind people that were trying to rob her and ended up getting this contact information. That's just so funny. But anyway, it's funny, but it's not. The sad part is that we are dealing with a society and a world full of these people. And we need to educate our kids, not to be afraid, but to be wise and to know what to look for and to listen to your gut. How many of you have walked away from situations and you wish you had listened to your gut? Your gut was speaking, but you chose not to listen to it. That gut feeling we get is the Holy Spirit wreaking havoc on our insides, trying to get us to pay attention. That's my look at it. But I mean, the Holy Spirit is there to guide us. And I always, regardless what I am going through, I ask for that wisdom and that knowledge in that direction, because you just don't know in today's society. But it's not, it would be very, very easy to live out of a place of fear in our world today. I refuse to do that. I refuse to do that. We've only got so many hours on this earth, and I refuse to give in to fear and worry ever again. But we need to be knowledgeable. No doubt about it. We need to be knowledgeable and onto the different things that they are requesting. And just, you know, I tell you guys to be knowledgeable about the skills and things you need to exist. But the other thing is you need to be aware of the devil's tactics and the antics that are pulled. So for those of you that are new to any types of scams like this, Cash App and Zelle are two requested payment forms because they are non-trackable. Once that payment is sent, your money is gone, okay? Your money is completely gone. You will not see it again. You can't dispute it. PayPal, credit card, those kind of things, you can dispute and you can typically get your money back. But then again, they've also got your credit card number. So it's really sad that you've got to be that concerned. But when it comes, like currently right now, Austin is using Zelle with his current landlord, but we know their character. And it would be great if, you know, if this had been a legitimate thing, the landlords in Georgia, that would be a great way to make a payment. But if you don't know the people you're dealing with, Cash App and Zelle and any of those types of payments where you're just transferring funds from you to them without any protection, don't do it unless you know who you're dealing with. And cash is the other thing. You know, I mean, a lot of times, I do ask for cash when I'm doing anything off of Facebook Marketplace. And I just typically get cash when I'm dealing with anybody on Facebook Marketplace when I'm buying and selling things, because I don't want them to have my check with my bank account numbers on it, and I don't want to get a bad check from somebody. So it's just important to cover ourselves and be protected. But our kids need to know this too. I mean, it would have been really easy for Austin to lose an $800 security deposit yesterday out of excitement. So keep that in mind. I see lots of activity here, so I'm going to catch up. Let me see here. And Kate, I'm glad to see you chiming in. It's so nice to have active people on here. We have such a good community. So I saw you guys are all saying hello to Kate. Shelly says, I wanted to use it to dry all the kale I harvested yesterday, but it was too damp to use. I had to use my electrical dehydrator. 65 dry leaves makes a quarter cup of powder. Look at you go. You got it all calculated. I love it. That's awesome. That's awesome. And it's great to have multiple items that you can use to get the job done. That is the way to do it. You know, we always have 3 of our most necessary items to make sure we always have backups and a variety of such. You know that we have maybe a chainsaw, but we've got multiple saws that are hand saws to enable us to keep working and get the job done. So that is the way to roll, guys. That's awesome. Let me see here. Jane says, hey, Kate, Newport is my favorite place. And I love it. You guys are all saying hello to each other. Jane says, Shelly, I make kale chips in my air dryer. Little oil and sea salt. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. I love kale chips. They are so yummy. Jane says, be careful. Are there a lot of rental scams going on? Oh, there's so many rental scams going on. It's terrible. It's terrible. Plus, you know what the other thing is that's really sad? Is all the criteria necessary to rent a place these days. And I get it. They're in the same boat. They're having to do exactly what I was doing on the reverse side of things. They got to protect themselves. But it's such a shame. I mean, you remember renting places based on your parents' name, you know, and knowing that you just got a job, but that, you know, you're working and they would trust your character based on their first impression. You know, things are so different. So it's just so difficult. Plus the craziness of the pricing right now. I mean, property is through the roof, but so is rental properties. The cheapest thing I found was a $580 room for rent in somebody's home. And it would a lot of the room for rent, like Austin's paying $275 for a room right now. That's very inexpensive. An average room for rent would be probably $425, something like that. Well, this one is $580, and this is the cheapest I've found. And it looks like something out of a Stephen King horror movie. The room is his, but he shares the kitchen and the bathroom with the rest of the people in the house, which that's what you do when you share a house. However, there was this weird lock on the outside of the door that looked, that's what I'm saying. It looked like something out of a horror movie. Like he'd go in there and be locked in there till they let him back out. It was very creepy looking. So needless to say, we didn't even check that one out. And it might have all been kosher, but my gut was telling me right off the bat, that's not the way I want to go. So yeah, I mean, you just really got to be careful and finding something that's affordable and also in a good area and close to the school. It's just been a lot, but I'm getting really familiar with Spokane through Google Earth and the Maps apps. So anyway, Shelly says, Jane, I make powder for all the smoothies I make. Plus, you can add a little to foods that you make to add nutrition. Yep. It's really awesome. I love doing that too, Shelly. Jane says, sounding fishy. I know a Jeremiah Johnson in Spokane. Well, he moved, if it's the same Jeremiah Johnson. The house was beautiful and would have been perfect for Austin, but he moved out and is selling, and whoever I'm talking to is obviously not the real Jeremiah Johnson, which really stinks. But it's all good. God's got another plan, which we'll talk more about on that too. Kate says, hi, Jane. I've only been to Florence and Brookings on the coast. Haven't been to Newport yet. And then Jane said, scam. Yeah, scam. People are desperate for housing, and the thugs know it. Ask him if he's been to Geiger. Is that where you used to work? And tell him Mrs. Buck's going to hunt him down. I love it. Yep, that's what I thought. Yes, exactly. It's just so crazy. And they prey on the old people and the kids. And it's out of naivety that they get them, you know, and they do play it up. About that, I'm back. A call came in, so it freezes my screen. Ooh, here we go. So lots of stuff going on here. So then Mill says, hopefully they'll be prosecuted. Yeah, just the fact, I mean, I know they're preying on these kids up there. There's so many college kids looking for houses, and the school even warns, if you're using Facebook, Craigslist, I forget, there was a couple others they mentioned. Because, see, I was actually using one of the apps they recommended. But Facebook, Craigslist, all of that, it's so full of scammers anymore. Anytime I go to purchase anything off of Craigslist, I'm already ready for the potential there. And we've sold things on Craigslist, and oh my goodness, the people are just terrible. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So anyway, let me see here. Carol says, Kate, I'm from the UK. It's 7:05 p.m. here. Yes, Kate. Carol's getting everybody ready for bed. Mill says, I try to always listen to that little voice. Yeah, you've got to. You've got to. And in those situations, I always just kind of pray ahead of time for God to make it really clear. Because they can talk a good story, you know. Carol, you're hysterical. Okay, so Jane used to be a cop, so she had said that, tell him Mrs. Buck's gonna hunt him down, and Carol says, I'll hold your coat and bag, Jane, you go, girl. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. Jane says, Mill, slap on the hand. Yeah, no doubt. You know, it's just, it's sad right now. There's a lot of really sad stuff going on right now. There's a lot of things that are being overlooked too because of all of the stuff that went on early last year. You know, and I don't blame the cops, because there's a lot of situations where, you know, their lives are at stake. And it's just our country's in a sad place. Our country needs lots of prayer. So Fuzzfork8, hey, I remember you joining us before. Check out Really Graceful. She is saying corporations are now buying up neighborhoods right now so they can rent homes to you for the rest of your lives. Guess they want to work, not get ahead. They want you to work, not get ahead. I'm not surprised, you know. I'm totally not surprised at that. Because people are taking great advantage of this opportunity. And we aren't going to get ahead. We're going to continue to sink. Kate says, Jane Buck, you can make a sauce for kale that uses nutritional yeast for cheesy effect when it dehydrates. My daughter is the recipe genius. I saw Jane say about recipe. Yes, so you do need to share the recipe. And Kate, you should join our community. I see Jane also mentioned that. You need to go to TrayerWilderness.com/community. You too, Fuzzfork. And join us there. It's free, but you can post there. We communicate there. Recipes are shared. All kinds of stuff is shared there. So definitely join us there. We would love to have you. And yes, recipes are always enjoyed. That sounds really good. And yes, nutritional yeast gives everything that cheesy taste, and I can totally see that. You mix it up and then dehydrate it. Oh my goodness. Yum. And Mill says, yes, Jane, pretty much. Just a slap on the hand, I think is what she's talking about. Jane says, Carol, haha, funny, but if they know I'm lurking, they go the other way. They know better. She's going to do some whoop button. Jane says, okay, that's what she said about the recipe. Carol says, in the UK, we are still not open fully. After our 4th lockdown, landlords were banned from throwing people out that couldn't pay their rent over the COVID lockdowns, but now they can. Yeah, and I think that played a role in everything here, too. I mean, if I was a landlord, I would be, I don't know that I'd want to be a landlord right now in this day and age. You just never know what you're getting. I mean, it goes, like I said, this is a situation that's sad on both sides. It really, really is. The integrity of people today is not there. And you know what else is really frustrating too to me is to see as well that how people are trashing other people's places. You know, that nobody has any care for anything anymore. You know, we were brought up to respect our things, because it costs a lot of money to get them, and also definitely respect that of other people's. You know, if we borrowed a tool, it had to go back cleaner than we got it, you know, and I don't know. It's just today's society is just not the same. It's heartbreaking, but you know what? We can't focus on it and become depressed by it. We just got to try to make a difference with our children and with those we do come in contact with. You hear me say that all the time. And Carol, isn't that crazy? I don't know that we're fully open all over the place either. There's so much baloney going on. You know, it's nuts. It's nuts. Melissa says, hello, praise report. That man on the loose had turned himself in the next day. Wow. Fabulous. So there you go, Carol. There you go. And good praise. People left, right, and center getting scammed. Yeah, for sure. And in so many different ways. And then, you know, one of the other things that we've seen in helping some local people here, and then also, you know, for example, like Glenn's grandmother. And even me, this is really funny. This is the big joke. I can now get AARP. So, you know, they act like 50's old. Excuse me. Anyway, and 51. No, I don't think so. So anyhow, once you get on those lists, you get on everybody's lists and you start just receiving all kinds of junk mail. Well, as you age, the amount of junk mail you receive increases like quadruple. I mean, it's just insane, the amount of mail that older people receive. And you know, sorry, I was just making sure my moose wasn't outside my window because I just heard something. Anyway, and it's so hard to tell even there what to trust and what not to trust. You know, they're always asking for money for the homeless or those in poverty. And you know what? I am the first one to give. That is part of what we are called to do. And we do very diligently tithe and provide to people. But you've got to also make sure that what you're giving to is authentic as well. So it's a shame. It's a shame life is the way it is. But educate your children and be cautious. Be very cautious. Shelley says, I knew a few people who I would not want to meet in a dark alley if you got them mad at you. And Jane, with your training, you would be one of them. Oh, I'd be in a dark alley with her. I'd just watch her whoop some butt. I'd have her back, though, that's for sure. Fuzzfork says, saw a sign the other day, we buy ugly houses. Someone said they rent them to illegals nowadays. I wouldn't be surprised. It's just such a mess. It's such a mess. Oh my goodness. Shelley says, that is so good to hear, Melissa. And I saw Carol said that too. Brilliant news, she said. Carol says, here in the UK, if you are on benefits to rent from an estate agent, it's a month's deposit, a month's rent up front, and key and contract money. And you have to have a guarantor for 30 times the rent. Yep. I totally believe that. I totally believe that. Kate says in Eugene, Oregon, rooms are 600 to 800. A one-bedroom apartment, no garage, no pets. If yes, pets, they get pet rent. I know, it's insane, which does not apply to the deposit. It's about $1,200 minimum. Yep, I know. It's really crazy. And these kids are going to college and trying to make it by. And there is a place that has... It's an apartment building specifically for students. So they don't rent apartments, they rent bedrooms, which I thought was ingenious, but they want $525 to start for the room and upwards of $800 for a room. I'm like, come on. So they've got 4 or 5 rooms in each thing. The amount of money they're making is insane. And you'd think they'd be doing that to help the kids. That's not helping these kids. It's irritating. But yeah, and the pet rent too. Security deposit on a pet at some of the places is $500, and then it's $500. So it's a security deposit for the pet, and then a $500 payment, and then $40 a month every month for the pet. And Austin does want to have his dog up there with him, but, you know, we've already discussed, you know, if it's going to be like that, it's just not worth it. You know, he can stay here when you're done school. He's, you know, you guys, because he comes to visit and he sees the dog. So the dog knows who his people is. But it's just nuts. Kate says, on the entire West Coast for rentals, the average rate has increased in the past 10 years from $1 per square foot to at least $2. Often garage area is included in square footage, even though that isn't legit. Yeah, it's just crazy. Mill says, making turmeric pills. So sorry for not being more chatty. No worries, my dear friend. That is a good thing to be doing. I love doing that stuff. Awesome and good for the body. I'm sure that is helping with your pain and inflammation. Kate says, I agree that the nagging voice of reason is the Holy Spirit. So many instances I should have known something was telling me. Yeah, I am like so in tune with that. And I even went to the extent of, because it kept going, like I kept proving it. And I thought, well, maybe this is just me being overprotective and too much on guard, because I head into situations being that way loosely. You know, I don't want to come off wrong to people, but I also don't want to be taken over. So I was just, you know, kind of analyzing the whole thing, but it felt weird from the start. So I called in my prayer warriors and had them praying. You know, I got 3 or more together and we were praying, and truth comes through. But I still can't believe he contacted me again today. I thought for sure he would have just dissed me, but I must have, because I keep communicating with him. He probably thinks I'm still gullible. Anyway, but yes, Kate, listen to the Holy Spirit, guys, and trust God in everything. You know, sometimes it can be really hard. And I know that was Austin's disappointment yesterday, is that he was just so hungry to have a place. And this place was cute. It would have been a really nice place for these guys. It was just really laid out nice. It was a corner block. It was in a nice neighborhood. It just would have been very ideal. The backyard was fenced, you know, just lots of good aspects to it. But anyway, we got to pay attention to what's going on and just pray God into it, and be ready to not jump onto things just because we want it so badly, that we disengage from that still small voice, because that small voice is going to keep nudging, but we get too excited sometimes. And I kept pulling myself out of that place. You know, I was neutral, because I'm really, you know, God is gonna, if this kid is supposed to be where he is, God will open the doors. And God has connected him this week with some really wholesome Christian people, the author, his nephews, the lady that from the church, and she actually shared his picture at a board meeting this week, so that when he goes to the church, everybody can meet him and greet him and be able to make him feel welcome, and that they're looking for him so that they can nurture him. So I was really excited about that. And also his summer and his fall courses are already paid for through grants and scholarships God has been providing. So I know he's where he needs to be, and God may provide housing just at the last minute, and that's okay. It's all going to work out. I trust that, but my poor boy goes through a lot more anxiety as he's going through this than I do. So this might be a little bit more for him than me. It's just testing all my shuffling abilities at this point. Kate says also, the corporations buying up distressed real estate, disaster economy. I learned about this from Catherine Austin Fitch. She's worth giving a listen on her videos. Problem mostly on BitChute and Rumble. No problem. That's awesome, though. I'll check it out. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff going on right now. And you know, that was the other thing, too, is these houses are going so fast. So it just did seem odd that a apartment for $700 a month didn't go that fast. So it's, you know, it's all coming together. But the Jeremiah Johnson thing was just really funny. Kate says, I'll check out your website. I'm very interested and somewhat knowledgeable on foraging, always ready to learn more. Oh, I love foraging. I absolutely love foraging. That is like my favorite thing. And I just keep diving deeper into all of that. And yeah, check out our site and come to our community. We'd really love to have you. Mill says, we are choosing to sell and not rent our cabin. Today, it's not worth the effort. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. I mean, you need so much liability insurance and extra insurance added because of everybody trashing stuff. It's just terrible. Melissa says, the words being fulfilled about the days. Yeah. I know. And the book I have coming is on Revelations through this author that I met on, I don't know what day that was, Monday, I guess. So I'm excited to read that. It may end up becoming a new Bible study book. Miss Toika is in the house. She says, hello, Trayer family. Pain is mucho better and brain is getting better also. Just answering your question before asked. Good. You know, we're all thinking of you and checking on you. So thank you for sharing that and glad that you are doing better. Melissa says, hello, Toika, and happy birthday to the baby boy, to Lorenzo. Yep. And let me see. Or did I miss something? Were you talking about Lorenzo or was there somebody else? Because she's, oh, birthday boy. She did say birthday boy. I said baby boy. Okay, never mind. I'm on track. Kate says, masks are not being enforced in many places in Oregon. Stores are afraid to ask if people are vaxxed. I'll never take the shot. It will erase natural heritage genetic alterations. Great to shop unmasked. Yes, exactly. And right there with you on all counts. Taking that shot would literally kill me. And the mountain boy too. And yep. Mountain Man's on board there too. Just, it's not, I'll take my chances and wait to see because it's hard to tell what's going to be down the pike. Deb says, good morning, Tammy and friends. I'm so messed up on time with no school today and the rest of the summer. Well, I imagine you are. And good morning, sweet friend. I hope that you are getting rest and you're almost there. You're almost there. Be sure to tell Sterling happy birthday and congratulations on his graduation, please. And yeah. Thank you, thank you. Fuzzfork says 11 watching, 4 thumbs up. I love it. Guys, if you are new to our channel, please subscribe. The more activity we have on this channel, the more people we can reach with our message, and we got to help people get their heads out of the sand and be looking in the right direction. So subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell next to it so that you get alerted when I'm uploading videos and when I'm live, if YouTube is functioning properly. And also be sure to like and share if you enjoy the content. Share it with your friends. And definitely comment. We always love to hear from you guys. And if I don't respond right away, do know that your comments are being read and I will get to replying. Things are a bit crazy right now. I'm wearing many hats. I am doing all my web clients and new installations. I'm writing 2 books. One will be released hopefully in the next 2 weeks. I'm designing classes, I'm videoing and editing, and I'm helping my college boy get housing and finish this term. So, and working here on the homestead. So it's a busy time. So please be patient, but know that we love you all. And we're seeing your messages. Toika, Shelly says, Toika, so glad to hear that your pain is better. And Carol's saying hello. Everybody's saying hello to everybody. I love it. No pets in 99% of the rented properties here. Yeah, I mean, pets can be a risk, you know, and it is unfortunate. I mean, I had a Great Dane when I was right out of high school, and he chewed on the door jamb one day when I was out of my apartment. So they can be very destructive, you know. So it is unfortunate. I love my foot muffs. Okay, Carol, there you go. There are my foot muffs. I've been getting them out on walks. We didn't go this morning because of the rain, and it's very damp today. But that old boy, I've been getting him out so he can go swimming every day. I want to get him swimming so that his last days are spent doing what he likes to do. The poor guy, he's getting so skinny. But he's such a happy dog. And Miss Copper is working overtime. She's like my right-hand dog. When I'm out doing anything, she's always protecting me. I was weed whacking yesterday, and she was like talking it up and making sure nothing was coming near me. Jane says, Kate, our daughter is living at home again. 1,500 plus utilities for a one-room studio. She's working, paying off her loans from college. Yep, it's just a shame. These kids don't get a chance to really get a good start. I mean, I remember paying, goodness, my rents were so cheap. And I had an entire farmhouse, I think, for like 350 bucks. Two of them, actually. So, yeah, it's just such a shame. It's such a shame. Re-renting one bedroom out. Renting one bedroom out this is getting more restrictive in Eugene because of incoming immigrants who are accustomed to 2 to 4 people per room. So landlords are beginning to state max 5 per house. Wow. Just crazy. Just crazy. So Deb says howdy to everybody, and Deb says howdy to all who I might have missed. Right. We got a full house today. I'm loving it. Jane says, Toika, I didn't see you sneak in. Hello. Yes. See, these guys I love how everybody loves on each other. It's so awesome. And the friendships that are forming outside of these live and out of our community. It's really awesome. Jane says, Tammy, I'm going to send you a text after this. May have a place. If not, she may be of help knowing someone who has a place for rent. Thank you. You are such a doll. Yes, thank you very, very much. I greatly, greatly appreciate that. The mountain man said to me yesterday, he goes, you are relentless. I'm like, I've got to be. It's like, this is just insane. I just have never seen anything like it. You know, renting a place before was so easy. I mean, of course, I haven't rented a place in 11 years, and that one was super easy. But, yeah. And before that, it's been a long time because I own my house. But it's just sad to see. And it's connecting with the right people, but so far God has connected us with such amazing people, so I'm very thankful. Kate says, too, there will likely be lawsuits and to condemn restriction on people per house due to cultural expectations. Anyway, too many people per house, no parking available, just like Kelle. She says she's from LA. Okay, yeah. Whew. I'll stick to my homestead in the middle of nowhere and deal with the moose. It might just be curious. I'll deal with that. And I think I saw Keith jumping on here. Good afternoon by now. Nope, still good morning. Good morning, Keith. Although for Keith, he's like a day ahead. He's in New Zealand. So let's see here. Miss Tammy's on. She says, sorry I'm late dealing with last minute things. No worries. Glad you're here. Fuzzfork says, this renting agenda reminds me of the 2030 United Nations global issues. You own nothing and you be happy. Yeah, right. I hear that. Yes. Kate says, Catherine A. Fitz has her own site too. She's probably restricted on YT. Oh, I'm sure, because you said about her being on BitChute and Rumble. I'm sure she's been restricted on YT. She fought the feds and won years ago. A legend. See her video on the reset. She talks about creating a private economy. Oh, cool. I will definitely check her out. Finally got my book, just waiting for delivery. Awesome. And I imagine you're talking about boundaries. We have Bible study tonight also. So if anybody is looking for a good Bible study to join, you can go to trayerwilderness.com/Bible study book club. We are working on the book called Boundaries right now. And really good book, really good time as well. So people are always welcome. Let me see here. Deb says, absolutely, we'll share your thoughts with Sterling. It's all coming together. Going to be a great celebration. I knew that from the start, sister. You got it. You got it under control. You're rocking it. Kate says to Jane, my daughter's similar situation, but she really just wants to take care of me forever. I'm so fortunate. Oh, that's very awesome. Very, very awesome. Deb says, sunny day here. Are you imagining it or are you for real? Because it's like really gray here. It's getting bright, though. I haven't seen blue skies for like 2 days. But sun is on the way, and that's okay. We needed the rain, so I'm not going to complain. Jane says, daughter had a pet rabbit, was like a dog, chewed corners in apartment. She had to pay. Oh, wow. Yep, animals can be tricky. Yep, Keith is on here. And let me see here. Kate says in the 70s, the rent was about quarter of prevailing minimum wage in low rent district California. Now rent is more than 1 month income of minimum wage. It's equivalent or higher than the mortgage. So crazy. So crazy. Coeur d'Alene is dubbed LA North. Everyone is moving here. Our little city will never be the same. Oh, I'm sure. Even, even here, it's crazy. You guys have seen my mountainside over there and my tranquil view. And now at nights, there's more lights showing up on that mountainside. And all of a sudden in the sun, you see a glitter across the way that someone else is there. Now, the funny thing is that mountain there has welcomed many people in the last 11 years. Oh, hang on one second. Sorry, I got a message from my man and I wanted to see what it said. Okay. So many have taken part on that mountain before, but that mountain is steep and it holds the snow and the properties are like this. So there's no real building locations on it. So these people are sucking it up and not being able to do much with it or do something with it, even minimal, and then are there for the winter and don't last the winter because it holds so much snow. It gets so much snow over there. So it's not really a pleasant, kind place to be. And it's not maintained by any of the county stuff. So anyway, what I'm saying is lots of people are moving in here too. And it's crazy. California, Oregon, some Washington. But yeah, it's happening everywhere. It's happening everywhere. Let me see here. Deb's Toyka says it's drizzle here. And Deb says, big billowing clouds moving around, but gorgeous sun with a breeze from the north. Well, how nice. How nice. Kate says, Jane, I'm hoping to move to Post Falls. May have to settle for a trailer park in Moscow. Jane says, I'm in. Yes. Yeah. And trying to find a place is incredible. I mean, there's a 5-acre parcel near here that's going for $94,000. It's just unheard of. It's just unheard of. It's just crazy to see all that's going on. But we're not going to focus on the negative. It is what it is. We cannot change much of what we're seeing happen. But we need to change what we can. And we need to be a light where we can. And we need to educate ourselves and our kids. More than anything, I look at these kids coming up into this, and we need to educate these kids to be prepared to hold their own. The big thing in us teaching Austin, he knows how to light a fire. He knows how to hunt and how to field dress, and he knows how to trap. He knows how to cook. He knows how to do all those things he needs to do to survive. He knows how to fell trees and how to cut lumber. He knows how to do this stuff. He may not have liked learning it. He may not have liked it at the time, but he is grateful for it now, and he is appreciative of it now. So, teaching these kids how to grow things too. Austin was in the garden with me all the time. This is funny times. We've got to really focus on getting them educated on everything. I'm hitting the screen again. Sorry, guys. Wow, no kidding, Keith. Keith says, come to New Zealand, gas is over $10 a gallon. I mean, they had that situation in the South when the hackers got into the gas and it was $9 a gallon, but that's just nuts. It's just nuts. It's coming, guys. Please, please listen to me when I tell you to be preparing and to, if you don't have the knowledge, and there's things that you're going to need to know, purchase books that you have on hand that you can fall back on at worst. Okay? Matter of fact, I'll share some books with you guys on Monday that I think are an absolute must-have. Okay? I'm going to share them. Some of them are going to be hard to find, but I'm going to recommend that you get them in your arsenals. Tammy has to run now. God bless you all. Love you, girl. Have a good afternoon. And enjoy the rest of your day. Let me see here. Okay, you guys are all saying goodbye to Tammy. So, you know, the key thing that really strikes me right now is just making sure that our kids are educated. You know, there's just so many ways naivety can set in, and also so many ways that they don't realize the need for survival skills. Like I said, there's times when they aren't going to want to learn that stuff or don't even see the need because they're busy playing video games and on their iJiggers. But truthfully, guys, it's so important that we educate our kids and help them to be observant, and also more than anything to have a relationship with Christ, because that's where it's at. That's what's going to carry us through. And, you know, not everybody's going to believe me on that one, but that's where I stand. That is where I stand. And this just popped out to me here. It's on my notes. A couple weeks back, Kelle, MrsHomesteader on YouTube, she's very busy right now on her homestead, so she hasn't been on for a couple videos. But she mentioned Proverbs 28:1. And she challenged myself and a couple others, and I'm putting the challenge right back out there to you guys. It's been in the description for quite a few weeks now. And she says, we need to be as bold as lions and share and speak the truth wherever we go. I stand up for my freedom, to protect my family values, to defend the innocent, and to continue to pray without ceasing. We all need to be in that place right now, guys, truthfully, more than anything. And, you know, it's hard not to look at what's going on in our world and not say something's coming. And even if it doesn't come, what I've shared with you over the last couple weeks, it's an investment. Whatever you purchase now is an investment into your future. Things are starting to go up in price. Our meats and our food chain is breaking, and with droughts and floods and all the stuff that's going on, our fall could be an interesting fall. So stocking up now is really important. I've shared with you to go to Thrive Life. You can go to TrayerWilderness.com/Thrive Life. You can go to preparewithTrayerWilderness.com. You can go to TrayerWilderness.com/Thrive Market. You can go to TrayerWilderness.com/Grove. All of those places have discounted wholesome things that you can start stocking up on as you have the funding. When you're at the grocery store, stock up on extra stuff. Have a couple extra cans of gas sitting around. Get your propane. Get stocked up, guys. Just be prepared. I can't help but nudge that because I'm feeling that nudge. And I just wouldn't feel right if I wasn't sharing that. So the thing is educating our kids. We talked about, and Keith, in the very beginning, I thanked you for sharing about the putting my feeder into my box, and I talked about predators. Because for us, we're fortunate. The bears and the mountain lions are hunted by hounds out here, so they don't frequent very often, and eventually my bees will end up inside my garden again like they were on the other homestead. But until the garden is up, I have them close to the house here, and I even put solar lights on so I can keep an eye on them at night. But I didn't ever think about putting that feeder in the inside of my hive. That's pretty cool. So I am going to do that. I'm waiting a little bit here because we've had nasty weather, and I know they get feisty when the weather's nasty, so I will wait for a sunny day to do that. So I'm going to have to get them out of the way to set that in there. And that's what you meant, is to take the whole base and jar and just set that on top of the bottom hives in the second hive so that they can get in there and feed. Am I correct? Keith is a wealth of information when it comes to bees, and I should say just about anything. He's very knowledgeable, and I love that he shares his knowledge, and I hope that you guys will all do the same. I also wanted to share with you guys two things. There is a foraging webinar coming up. Go to TrayerWilderness.com/foraging webinar. It's free. You do not want to miss it. I love the Herbal Academy, and that is who is hosting this. I've done many of their courses and hope to do all of their courses. And that is free knowledge, guys. Suck it up. Suck it up. Suck it up. Also, anybody looking for Father's Day gifts, you can go to Dayspring. They have a special promotion going on, and you can go to TrayerWilderness.com/Father's Day. There's also a ton of other links. We've had a lot of people taking part in creating balanced health, which makes me just giddy. I'm so glad to hear and see people taking their health into their own hands. So if you have health issues or you just want to be proactive and make sure that you're in a good place and just want to do like a routine check on yourself, you can go to creatingbalancedhealth.com and make sure that you enter coupon code TrayerWilderness. They will give you an awesome discount, and they are awesome to work with. I use them. The Mountain Boy's done it. The Mountain Man will be doing it. They are fabulous. It is hair and saliva analysis testing, and they can pinpoint, in my opinion, just about anything. It's fabulous. So check that out. And I want to read this to you because this is where it's at, guys. And this is why, you know, despite the chaos in our world, this is where we got to focus. Oh, awesome. Deb said she's going to post some pictures. I know you're talking about your party, so yes, be sure to do that. But this is where it's at, guys. This is where we need to keep our focus. This is how I stay in a pleasant, happy place, regardless what is going on around me, regardless what is on my plate, regardless if I'm scammed, regardless if the houses are falling through and I've only got 15 days left to get this boy housing. I'm trusting God. I know he's going to provide. So I think it's really funny that I get to share all these stories with you, share how God's lining up, and then get to share with you what he does. Because I'm telling you, it's going to be fabulous. It's going to be awesome. His plans are always good because he is working for us, not against us. So, Jeremiah 29:11. We all know that one. The plans I have for you are good. So, are you grieving the death of a loved one? Are you walking through the fires of divorce? Have you lost your home or your job? Are you trying to pick up the pieces of your life and start over? I'm going to add 2 more. Are you looking for housing and they keep falling through? And are you watching the world in a crazy place? We all are. But we still got to trust, regardless what is going on. God says, the plans I have for you are good. When you involve God, the best is yet to be. That is so true. So true, guys. But it's impossible to move forward when you're trapped in the past. Yep. If you are on the community, you saw what I posted yesterday, prompting you guys to share something you would like to change in your future. And I mentioned that you can't regret your past because the past is the past and you need to leave it there and you need to focus on your future. So that is it. It's impossible to move forward when you're trapped in the past or you're living in the past, you're stuck in the past. You can't get over the past. You got to change what's ahead and learn from the past. So when the great Paderewski first started studying piano, his teacher told him his hands were too small to master the keyboard. Yet the fire in his soul drove him to become a world-renowned pianist. When the great Caruso first started studying voice, his teacher said he sounded like the wind whistling through the window. But today, he's remembered as one of the world's greatest tenors. If you need inspiration, look no further than Christ. Keep your eyes on Jesus, who both began and finished this race we're in. Study how he did it. He never lost sight of where he was headed. That exhilarating finish in and with God, he could put up with anything. When you find yourselves flagging in your faith, go over that story again. That will shoot adrenaline into your soul. Hebrews 12:2-3. That was from the Message. When it comes to your losses, grieve them and leave them. I like that. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. Isaiah 43:18-19. The word for you today is keep looking ahead because things are going to get better. Sometimes things get worse before they get better, but when you keep your eyes on the prize and you keep your heart right and you keep your faith and trust in Him, there's no better place, guys. There's no better place. I could be so upset with so many things that have happened in my life, and you know what? I treasure all of those moments because they made me who I am. They made me stronger. They made me perseverant. They made me a different person because God is molding each and every one of us. We are the clay and He is the potter. And we need to just trust in that. So when you know, I know that this is not an easy practice for most people, but for me, when things fall apart, I kind of chuckle and just keep going. I don't even think twice about it. I don't get disappointed. I don't cry over things changing and not going my way. I'm like, okay, this wasn't meant to be, so what is? Show me your will. Guide me, direct me, put me on the right path. Show me, connect me with the right people. Show me the right words in your word that I need to read to move me to where I need to go. I find humor in it. I find, God is a humorous being. There's humor in it if you see it. Some of God's parables were funny. Some of the things He says in the Bible were funny. Jeremiah Johnson yesterday was funny. You've got to be able to see humor in things and understand He has a sense of humor, but also understand that some of the hard things we walk through aren't Him punishing us. Maybe it might be Him teaching us, but more than anything, it's Him growing us. We need to grow. We need to be strong. We need to be powerful warriors for Him and for our families. And we need to be ready for anything. We need to be ready for anything. And the only place on this planet we're going to get strength like that and supernatural powers to be able to persevere through anything is through Him. So that's my thoughts. That's how I roll. That's my life. And I felt the need to share it today because things definitely are wonky. Things are crazy. Things don't look pretty. Things look pretty gloomy at times. And the thing is, there's always going to be stuff happening around us. Perspective, perseverance, and knowledge, I think, are our key tools. And Him, Him and His word is most important and needs to be in the forefront. So let me see here. I'm trying to see where I left off here. So Deb says, I need to hear this about trapped in the past, even the good stuff of the past, wondering if it will be good again. I know He has better plans for all of us. Oh, trust me, He does. And you know what? I never thought of it that way, in sticking in the good of the past. It's okay. It's okay to, when I look back on my past, I don't see anything upsetting or drawing me in. I see God's hand. I see the path He brought me on. And that's how I look back at my past. I look back at my past in a good way. And there was a lot of bad. There was a lot of good. But when we know that, right here, we're in the present. And that's where we truly need to be living. We shouldn't be looking back to be living in a place there. We shouldn't be looking front and worrying, because a lot of times when you look forward, there's a lot of worry, or we are, and it's good to dream, don't get me wrong, because we dream. And we step out in faith to see where God is guiding. But sometimes we get so caught up in what we want so bad that we end up living in that place way out there instead of right here where we need to be. When you live in the present, you are living out also some of the most wholesome times in your life, because when you're in the present, you're with those you love, you're with those that are closest to you, you're experiencing the things He wants you to experience now, not what you may or may not experience moving ahead, and not looking back at what was good, bad, or in between. Present is where so much is gained. And the problem is most of us are looking back or front and not where we need to be. Living in the present is a wholesome place to be. I didn't used to live there either. I did after my life-saving surgery. I started heavily living in the present, in the current, because that's all I could do. But I learned so much in that place, and I learned the importance of living out of that place. So I'm not sure. Are you guys able to hear me okay? Because it's looking weird on my screen. So anyway, Toika says, okay, fam, hit the X in the upper right corner of live chat, hit the thumbs up, and then hit the live chat 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, so Deb's got me on here. Okay, so I'm still good. Okay, it was just quiet for a while, and the screen was doing weird things that I was watching here. Okay, good. You're all okay. Okay. Just so I'm not speaking to dead space. That's really weird when that happens. And last week, no, not last week, the week before last, when we were on Bible study, I was talking away, and bam, we got an electrical storm, and boom, I was off Zoom. I was gone. So weird things do happen occasionally. Keith says, for those who can dream, there is no such place as far away. Exactly. I love that. I love that. You know, because when you just made me think this, Keith, you know, when you're in the present, you're living out a really wholesome place, and it still enables you to dream. And I think it even makes your dreams more of a reality, because so often there's an eagle flying around outside. I love it. Sorry, I got caught up in the moment, in the present. You have to dream. You have to have dreams. You have to have desires. But you know where all of those things start? Is not way out there. It's in the present. It's in making baby steps to make all those things happen. So I love that Keith said that, because that's exactly it. There is no such place as too far away. Because as you're living in the present and you're working towards it, it's just all becoming a reality. So, amen, brother. I love it. So let me see. Toika says hearing is fab. Okay, good deal. Kate says, I was doing something while listening, getting ready for the day. No worries at all, my friend. No worries. I was just making sure I'm not talking to a dead screen. That happens. So keep preparing. Keep gaining knowledge. Keep educating our children. Keep stocking up. Keep being prepared, and keep focusing on Him, guys. I can't say it enough. It's just really important. It's important in every aspect of what we're doing. When God is in what we are doing, so much comes from that. So much comes from that. You guys saw me like totally on fire on Monday. And you know what? Here I am Thursday, when things have gotten squirrely, things, you know, didn't open up the way I wanted them to, but you still see me on fire. I am on fire for Jesus. I am overflowing with Him, because I see His presence in every single thing I'm doing. Everything. And that just reminds me to tell you also that it's important to praise Him for all the good things He's doing in your life. And that's why I'm so excited too. The book that we'll be releasing very soon is my gratitude and prayer journal for you guys. So I am like so excited. I'm also excited because I'm doing it for me too, because Miss Kelle got me a journal for Christmas, and I'm almost through it already, and I need a new one, and I refuse to buy another one other than mine, because I'm laying it out so that it fits all my needs. There's intention here, and I know it'll fit all yours, because it's not just going to be a gratitude and prayer journal. Every day is going to have inspiration for you. So I look at it this way. I'll be with you every day, giving you encouragement that way, in addition to every Monday and Thursday. That's my goal. Oh, I did it again. I'm so used to tapping that screen. Toika says Tammy T squirrel, or in your case, eagle, right? I know. I have to look funny. I'm so darn animated. I don't even watch my videos. It's probably good, because I look back on some of them, or I'm editing some of them, and I just crack myself up. I know I'm a very animated human being, so Enjoying the humor. Whether you're laughing at me or with me, it's all good. If you can't laugh at yourself, you might as well quit. So, and yes, that was a major eagle squirrel. Oh, I love my surroundings. I thoroughly love my surroundings. This morning I woke up to it pouring down raining and that moose just making so much noise. He was probably excited because it's the first bath he's gotten in a while. I don't know. Jane says we're not quiet very often. I know, right? I was just concerned. Ah. Well, I am going to say a prayer for you guys. And does anybody have any prayer requests or praises they'd like to put out here? And please be sure to join our community. We have a lot of people joining regularly. It's really awesome to see the growth we have and really need to continue to spread the word and give people a wholesome place to gather where they can all feel comfortable and share and be inspired. Toika says, oh no, not animated, just cute. Oh, I don't know. I watched some of my videos. Animated, I'm not sure. Deb says, I get that. That's why I like you. Me too, animated. Oh, crazy is what I am. Jane says, the Mountain Man would share that too. Jane says, praise daily for breath, movement, vision, family, and friends. Amen. Amen. Melissa says, love eagles too. Yes. I can't help but love eagles. They're majestic. They're amazing. I know they're a huge predator. I know they do a lot of damage. But when I think of eagles, I think of Psalms 91. So it's a great comfort to me to see them. And it's typically a pretty good sign for us. We see them when we need to see them, when we need reassurance of his direction and that we're walking out his will kind of thing. Same with my heart. I almost did it again. I got to like retrain this finger to get onto the iPad, not the screen. Okay, so Melissa says, prayer request, favor with bids I'm getting for some of the home repairs, and also my foot healed, accidentally jabbed it. Not good, not good. So definitely we will pray for you. Mill says, so I forgot how to use the pill machine and now I'm yellow from head to toe. Well, you should be lacking inflammation today because I'm sure that's going to absorb into your skin too. Oh my goodness, you're too funny. Toika says, oh Jane, that is perfect. Thank you. Yep. Yeah, that's a good daily praise. Mill says, Melissa, ouch. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Oh, I got to share a funny with you. I don't know. This just popped in my head. I think it was last week one day. I was out talking to the Mountain Man. He was doing some work in the bathhouse. And it's just out of habit. He was planning on also utilizing it while I was in there. So I walked away. And when I walked away, I came in the house. And I'm in the house here, and I hear all this banging going on. The dogs are barking because he's outside banging. I'm like, now what in the world is he doing? And I'm upstairs, and all of a sudden I hear him go, hey! Out of habit. Okay, so on the inside of the bathhouse, there's a lock to put down into the little brain fart eye bolt, you know, so that you can lock from the inside. And on the outside, we have the twist to lock it on the outside. Well, out of habit, when I leave the bathhouse, I close it on the outside. I locked him in the outhouse. They're in the bathhouse. And he was banging out there for a while. I thought he was just working on something. He's always making noise and always banging. So yeah, he got locked in the bathhouse, which was pretty funny. There I am again on the screen. Let me see here. Yep. Deb says, thanks, Jane. Great reminder and inspiration. Toika says, eagles way up soaring, cleared out a whole parking lot of seagulls and pigeons. Oh, I bet. I bet they go hiding. Deb says, praying for you, Melissa. Carol says, right. I'm off, guys. I need to get Lorenzo to bed. I will message you, Tammy. I need Mountain Man's brain about something. Love to you all. To you guys and prayers and giant hugs. Love to the foot muffs. Love you, lady. Good night, Lorenzo. Melissa says thanks to all. Oh, wow. So you actually broke your foot, Melissa. Oh, that's not nice. That is sore. Even just, yeah, I broke my toe one time and I didn't realize I had broke it and then went rollerblading to boot. And when I came back and took my rollerblade off, my entire foot was black. Yeah. Yeah, isn't that funny, Nil? I locked him in the bathhouse. Oh, we have funny stuff go on here all the time. Honestly, guys, humor is such a good cure for so much. Let me see. Mel says, good night to Carol. And Melissa says, no, it's not broke, but just a little sore. Oh, I got you. Okay. Okay. Well, guys, I am so grateful. We've got new people joining us all the time. We've got Kate, and we had Keith gets to join us more often, which I am like so excited. And Fuzzfork has been on here. So this is just awesome. So spread the word, guys. Make sure that those of you that are watching the replay, leave your comments. We love to hear from you. I'm going to say a prayer because I do have to jump off of here. I've got to go see about getting scammed some more. I got to find a house for the mountain boy. So I'm going to say a prayer. Papa, I just thank you for your love, mercy, and grace. Thank you for all you're doing in our lives. And I just thank you for the comfort and peace we can gain from you, even when things around us are just insane and things are upside down and sideways and nothing is rational. Everything that was once right is now wrong, and everything that was wrong is now right. You see, you know, but you give your children great comfort in knowing that you are present, that your hand is in everything, and you show us all the time if we're willing to see it. And you guide us all the time if we're willing to seek it. And I just pray that everyone in our community just begins to really seek you wholeheartedly and come to you and find the peace that I have and the comfort that I have and the amazing direction that you provide. I just ask that you wrap your loving arms around our audience and all those watching the replay as well, and just give them peace and comfort in these trying times. Give them the strength and the courage to do what they need to do in all situations. Touch their bodies for those that are in need of healing, and just give them peace and comfort of the heart and mind. I just want to lift the mountain man to you and the mountain boy. I want to lift Cortney to you today. And we ask that you just wrap your loving arms around Bobbi and just give her comfort and peace in this. And may the truth prevail and your goodness be seen. And also just be with Mama T as she's waiting for her surgery. And be with Melissa and just help her with her foot. And just bless her with answers and the bids she needs and that are affordable to her to be able to get the work done that she needs. And I just ask that you be with everyone. I lift Deb up to you and just thank you for the extra rest she got, and just continue to give her peace and comfort and just help her with the things she has on her plate, and just be with everyone that's in need. Thank you for the new people joining us today, and just thank you for what you're doing in our community. I give you all the glory. I'm just your vessel, and I thank you for using me. And I just ask all of this in your holy and precious name of Jesus. Amen. Okay, guys. Whoop. I love you all. I wish you all a good rest of your week and weekend. For those of you in the Bible study, I look forward to seeing you tonight. And join our community. That way, in between our Monday and our Thursday lives, you have an opportunity to ask questions, meet people, ask for prayers, whatever the case may be. Also, I want to just mention too, Shelly popped up on my screen, and Shelly, I'm sorry that I didn't say something, but Shelly could use some prayers too. Shelly has some health issues going on right now, and just keep her in your prayers also. God is guiding there and directing and doing some miraculous things, but just continue to pray for her comfort and for answers. And same with Jane. So I got the hand on the right machine. That's so funny. I have to retrain the brain. I'm so used to swiping. Kate says, thank you for the welcome. I was already subscribed, was listening to music and saw that you were live and logged into your channel. Blessings to you all today. Well, blessings to you too. It's nice to have you join. It's nice to get to know those that are subscribed to our channel. It's really nice to get to know everybody and to get everybody's input. You know, we learn something new all the time from each of you. So it's really awesome. It's nice to be able to learn from one another. Like I've always said, we don't know everything, but we're trying to lead the way and are very willing to learn from others. So let's see here. Mill says prayers for all and have a great rest of your week. And we've got a lot of amens and praises. Okay, and prayers for Laura as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, yeah. There's a lot of people in our community that are dealing with chronic illnesses and different pains and things, and it's hard in those situations. So thank you, Deb, for reminding me to keep Laura in there too. I try so hard to remember everybody when I'm live, and I get so scattered. It's just so much going on at one time. It's an interesting process doing live videos. That's why I try to keep good notes. So, but anyway, I squirrel when there's eagles and everything else. So anyhow, guys, I love you all. Have a fabulous rest of your day. I will see you Monday at 2:30 Pacific Standard Time. In the meantime, have a fabulous day and a fabulous rest of your weekend, and keep your eyes on him. God bless.